The troops of Operation Hadinkai conducted operations deep into terrorist enclaves in the Sambisa forest, as well as in the Tumbus of the Lake Chad region. These operations, as you may know, targeted terrorist commanders and strongholds and yielded positive outcomes. Additionally, the operations denied the terrorists the ability to carry out major offensives, as well as diminished the terrorist offensive capabilities. Accordingly, the terrorists have not been able to carry out major offensives and therefore have been limited to low-level skirmishes and attacks, most of which are on soft targets. Troops neutralized several terrorist commanders in the northeast, some of which include Munzir Arika, Sani Daila, Amir Mudu, Dan Fulani Dunguzu, Abu Dada, Bakura Chiki, and Abu Riyab, among several others. Overall, during the third quarter of this year, the troops of Operation Hadinkai neutralized 792 terrorists, arrested 606 suspects, and rescued 476 kidnapped hostages. Additionally, the troops recorded a total of 7,283 surrendered terrorist combatants and their families during the third quarter of this year. Troops also diminished the terrorist military capabilities by recovering 339 AK-47 rifles, 58 fabricated rifles, 9,653 rounds of 7.62 millimeter special ammunition, and 3,147 rounds of 7.62 millimeter NATO ammunition, among others. Now, the air component of Operation Hadinkai in the third quarter of the year conducted air interdiction to several terrorist enclaves. These enclaves include, and is not limited to, the following. Air interdictions were conducted to Mandara Mountains, Maradun, South Tumbun Fulani, and several other areas within the northeast. And these air interdictions that were conducted resulted in several terrorist leaders, commanders, and combatants killed, as well as the terrorist logistic dumps destroyed. The troops of Operation Safe Haven conducted several offensive operations, which include raids and fighting patrols during the third quarter of this year. The operations yielded significant successes, which include the recovery of arms and ammunition, as well as the arrest of violent extremists, including kidnappers, gun runners, armed robbers, murderers, as well as impostors. Additionally, troops in fierce contact with violent extremists and terrorists neutralized several terrorists. These include Matawal Bitrus, Thomas Benedict, and Mohammed Sani, among several others. Troops also rescued kidnapped hostages and arrested several gun runners, The offensive posture of troops secured the release of several kidnapped hostages and significantly curtailed the activities of terrorists and violent extremists within the North Central Theater of Operation. Overall, the troops of Operation Safe Haven neutralized 122 violent extremists, arrested 513 suspects, and rescued 305 kidnapped hostages. The troops also recovered 48 AK-47 rifles, 41 fabricated guns, 52 assorted arms, and 9,457 rounds of 7.62 millimeter special ammunition, among others. The troops of Operation Wild Stroke conducted operations to combat security threats posed by armed bandits, kidnappers, terrorists, violent extremists, gun runners, farmer headers, clashes, and so on. Accordingly, troops' offensive operations significantly mitigated security challenges in Benue, Nasarawa, and Taraba states, which comprise the area of operation for Operation Wild Stroke. The key threats faced by troops in this operational theater include terror activities by various militia groups, farmer-header clashes between headers and indigents. Other threats include kidnapping for ransom, mostly by header militias, gun running activities largely by indigents of Benue, Nasarawa, and Taraba states. Nevertheless, troops' onslaught largely degraded the potency of the terror groups within the theater and neutralized several terror leaders and commanders. These include, and is not limited to, the following: Rimami, also known as Omo, we took him out. Tekimbi, Njoku, Jacob, Nzige, Abdulkadri Yaya, Kingsley, Matthew, Ali Ibrahim, Yusuf Musa, Usman Umar, and several others. I am very pleased to tell you all these people are dead as we have wiped them off the battlefield. Additionally, troops arrested gun runner kingpins such as Paul, Amiza, Salisu Nasiru, Lomina Bisala, Manuka Sunday, and Bulus Ibrahim, among several others, gun runners and violent extremist kingpins that we have arrested. Overall, in the third quarter of this year, troops of Operation Wild Stroke neutralized 109 terrorists, arrested 203 suspects, and rescued 210 kidnapped hostages. The troops also recovered 27 AK-47 rifles, 2,660 rounds of 7.62 millimeter special ammunition, 60 rounds of 7.62 millimeter NATO ammunition, among several other items.